Good morning, students. This is the 18th lecture in our subject Engineering Thermodynamics. In the last lecture, I told you about Carnot cycle, concept of Carnot engine, and about the efficiency of Carnot engine. And we learned that the efficiency of the Carnot engine is the maximum among all the engines working between same temperature limit T1 and T2. And what is that efficiency value? That efficiency value is 1 minus T2 by T1. So we've learned what a Carnot cycle looks like. 1 to 2 is a reversible isothermal process, 2 to 3 is a reversible adiabatic process, 3 to 4 is a reversible isothermal heat rejection process again. This is the process where Q1 amount of heat is added. This is the process where Q2 amount of heat is rejected. Temperature maintained during this process is T2. Temperature maintained during this process is T1. And this is the representation of Carnot cycle in a PV coordinate. In a PV coordinate. In a pressure volume plane, this is how a Carnot cycle looks like. Okay. So we learned that henceforth we will be telling that the Carnot cycle doesn't consist of two isothermal and two adiabatics. We will say very clearly that Carnot cycle consists of two reversible isothermals and two reversible adiabatics. During the reversible isothermal processes 1 to 2 and 3 to 4, heat transfers amounting to Q1 and Q2 are taking place, and during the other two processes, the reversible adiabatic processes 2 to 3 and 4 to 1, no heat transfer does take place. Only there is an expansion work and compression work, two work quantities are involved. The efficiency of this Carnot cycle is like any other cycle. This is also equal to 1 minus Q2 by Q1, 1 minus Q2 by Q1, where Q2 is the heat rejected to the sink by the engine and Q1 is the heat extracted by the engine from the source. So this is the common expression for efficiency of any engine, so to say. But for Carnot engine or for Carnot cycle, that day we derived that this 1 minus Q2 by Q1 is equal to 1 minus T2 by T1, where T2 is the sink temperature or it is the temperature at which it is rejected, and T1 is the source temperature or the temperature at which heat is supplied to the engine. So Carnot cycle efficiency now becomes a function of the T1 and T2 expressed in Kelvin, right? And this value 1 minus T2 by T1 is possibly the maximum efficiency value among all the cycles that you can think of working between temperature limits T1 and T2. And this Carnot cycle efficiency therefore is the maximum efficiency. From the Kelvin-Planck statement of second law, we learned that efficiency cannot be 100%. From this concept we learned that efficiency of any engine cannot be equal to 1 minus T2 by T1 unless it is a Carnot cycle. Okay, so this is what we learned about Carnot cycle in the last class. So Carnot cycle is the cycle having maximum efficiency. In the same philosophy, a Carnot refrigerator was also thought of, and this will be a refrigerator which will have the best performance of refrigeration. That means it will be the refrigerator with a particular magnitude of cooling effect being given by it while consuming the minimum amount of work. That means the Q2 by W, for same Q2, this Carnot refrigerator which had been thought of will have the minimum W. That means with minimum amount of work input, it will give you the designated amount of heat extracted from the cold body in order to maintain the temperature at a value lower than that of the surrounding. So that kind of refrigerator will be called a Carnot refrigerator, which will be receiving W amount of heat, will be extracting Q2 amount of heat from the body, and will be rejecting Q1 amount of heat to the atmosphere. This is atmosphere. And the COP of this refrigerator, had it been an ordinary refrigerator, it would have been Q2 by W, or that is equal to Q2 by Q1 minus Q2. But if it is a Carnot refrigerator, then COP of Carnot refrigerator will be is equal to T2 by T1 minus T2. So this Q2 by Q1 minus Q2 can be replaced as T2 by T1 minus T2 for a Carnot refrigerator. And this Carnot refrigerator is what? Carnot refrigerator is one which will give you the same cooling effect or same refrigeration effect. That means it will extract Q2 amount of heat. For if you take a large number of refrigerators and all refrigerators will be extracting Q2 amount of heat from the cold body, then this will be the refrigerator which will be giving or which will be requiring minimum amount of W. So its COP is maximum. In the same line, you can tell that COP of heat pump which was Q1 by W, where Q1 is the amount of heat supplied to the hot space, relatively hotter space. Then if we are talking of a Carnot heat pump, that means a heat pump having maximum COP, then what will be its COP? Its COP will be equal to T1 by T1 minus T2. So by writing this expression, what I am trying to tell you is that the efficiency of an engine, COP of a refrigerator and COP of a heat pump, all these terms can be expressed not only in terms of the amount of heat transfer associated, they can also be expressed in terms of the temperatures of the respective source and sink, provided we are talking of a Carnot engine, we are talking of a Carnot refrigerator, we are talking of a Carnot heat pump. Now a Carnot engine is one which will have the maximum efficiency theoretically. A Carnot refrigerator is one which has the maximum COP theoretically, and a Carnot heat pump is one which also has the maximum COP theoretically. Okay, so all these Carnot or hypothetical devices, the engine, the refrigerator, the heat pumps, Carnotized engine, refrigerator and heat pump are all called ideal devices or reversible devices. Okay, so in a numerical problem, when you are solving problems from this chapter, then you read the problem. The problem, if it is a Carnot cycle problem or Carnot refrigerator problem, not necessarily you will find the word Carnot. The question may have words like ideal refrigerator, may have words like an ideal engine or a reversible engine, or an engine with maximum theoretical efficiency, or a heat pump with maximum theoretical COP, or it is an engine with the minimum heat rejection, or it is a refrigerator with the minimum work input. So you have to pick up these phrases or words from the problem in order to identify whether it is a Carnot problem or a non-Carnot device problem. if it is a Carnotized device, then all these terms will be there. Either it will be speaking of minimum heat rejection. मिनिमम हीट रिजेक्शन मतलब क्या है? मैक्सिमम वर्क आउटपुट. और मैक्सिमम वर्क आउटपुट का मतलब क्या है फॉर एन इंजन? Maximum efficiency. That means it is a Carnot cycle problem. So only when it is a Carnot cycle problem, excuse me, only when it is a Carnot cycle problem, be it engine, refrigerator or heat pump, there only you can use the temperature terms in order to determine the efficiency value. If it is a real engine problem, if it is a real refrigerator problem, if it is a real working heat pump problem, then you cannot use temperature terms T1 and T2 to find out the COP of the device or efficiency of the device. Is that clear? So let us solve one problem so that it will be clear. So let us solve a numerical problem. Now the problem I have already written here. Now read the problem and try to make out whether it is a Carnot cycle problem or a real engine problem. Okay. So the problem goes like this. A cyclic heat engine operates. So like any engine, it is also a cyclic device. A cyclic heat engine operates between a source temperature at 800 degree centigrade and a sink at 30 degree centigrade. So the engine is working between 800 degree centigrade source and a 30 degree centigrade 30 degree centigrade sink. Question is, what is the least rate of heat rejection per kilowatt net output of the engine? So what is the work output of the engine? How much? 1 kilowatt. And what is asked? What is the least rate of heat rejection? So if you recall the schematic of an engine, there is a term Q1, there is a term Q2 and there is a term called W. Now W is given to you, and which one is the heat rejection, Q1 or Q2? Q2 is the heat rejection, Q1 is the heat supply. Now what should be the heat input to the engine? Sorry, what should be the least rate of heat rejection? What should be the minimum value of heat rejection? That means what should be the minimum value of Q2? So this is a Carnot cycle problem or a non-Carnot cycle problem? Think a while and make out. Now nowhere in this problem the word Carnot is there. Nowhere in this problem the word ideal engine is there. And nowhere in this problem the word reversible engine is also there. Okay. So if you go by the language, then it doesn't tell you whether it is a Carnot cycle or not. But there is one word here, that what is the least rate of heat rejection? That means find out the minimum possible value of Q2. And what do you mean by minimum Q2? Minimum Q2 means Q1 minus Q2 is your W. Minimum Q2 means maximum W, and maximum W means maximum efficiency. And maximum efficiency means this question is speaking of a Carnot cycle, a Carnot engine. So this is a Carnot engine problem. Okay. So this is how you have to identify whether the problem is a Carnot cycle problem or not. So this kind of word will be there. What is the minimum rate of heat rejection, or what is the minimum loss? What is the minimum heat loss, like that. So this minimum heat loss or maximum work output or highest performance level or a reversible engine or an ideal engine, this kind of word are synonyms, thermodynamic synonyms for Carnot. Okay, so this is a Carnot cycle problem, at least that much we identified. Now we will solve this problem. We will solve this problem step by step. It is a very simple problem, and by now if you have understood the problem, you can also find out the solution and get the final answer. That is not an issue. So first thing, you draw a schematic of an engine. So this is Q1, this is Q2, and this is W. This is your source at T1, this is your sink at T2. Now least rate of heat rejection indicates it is the engine with maximum efficiency. And engine with maximum efficiency means it has to be a reversible engine. Okay, so first draw the schematic diagram and now make a list of given data or given information. Just like any other problem we do normally in other chapters, we will, if it is an engine problem, draw the schematic of an engine. If it is a refrigerator problem, draw the schematic of a refrigerator or heat pump as the case may be, and then make a list of given information. Then you identify whether it is a Carnot problem or a non-Carnot problem. So here we have identified it is a Carnot problem and we have written a small sentence to confirm the reader that this is a Carnot cycle problem. Now, what are the given data? Output, work output is 1 kilowatt. It's 1 kilowatt. Work output is 1 kilowatt, yes. Then what else is given? The source temperature is given 800 degree centigrade. The sink temperature is given 30 degree centigrade. Normally, usually in thermodynamics, the temperatures are expressed in small t, T1 and T2 when they are measured in degree centigrade. When we convert them to absolute, then normally they are given in, they are expressed or denoted in in terms of capital T. There is no such rule, but this is a normal practice. So 806 degree centigrade is 1073 Kelvin and 30 degree centigrade is 303 Kelvin. You know how to convert degree centigrade to Kelvin? Just by adding 273. And you know that expression 1 minus T2 by T1 contains the T terms expressed in Kelvin only, not in degree Celsius or degree Fahrenheit. So we converted them to this. And what is to be found out? We have to find out Q2. What is the value of Q2 minimum? Minimum value of Q2. And Q2 minimum means efficiency should be the maximum. And we know the maximum efficiency value of an engine provided the source temperature and sink temperatures are given to us. So this is a problem where source temperature and sink temperatures are given to us. So eta maximum is 1 minus T2 by T1. So here it will be 1 minus T2 is how much? 303 Kelvin and 1073 Kelvin. So this comes out to be 71.8%. So what is the efficiency of the engine? Efficiency of the engine is 71.8%. Okay, or 0.718. That's the efficiency of the engine. And you know that efficiency of an engine is can also be expressed in terms of heat quantity. Actually, efficiency of an engine is expressed in terms of Q1 and Q2. But because it is a Carnot cycle problem, so we have the liberty, we have the luxury of using the temperature term in order to find out the efficiency. Had it been a real engine problem, we could not have done that. Okay, so we were not at liberty to do that. But here we can do that because it is a Carnot cycle problem. We can very safely write 1 minus Q2 by Q1 is equal to 1 minus T2 by T1, which otherwise we cannot write for any other engine. So eta maximum is 71.8% or 0.718. Okay. And what is this? This is nothing but eta max is also equal to 1 minus Q2 by Q1. 1 minus Q2 by Q1 or W by Q1. Now, what is Q1 then? Q1 will be W by eta max. And you already know what is W. W is 1 kilowatt divided by 0.718. So, you find out what is Q1. Once you find out Q1, then finding Q2 is not a big deal because W is known to you. And what is W? W is nothing but Q1 minus Q2. So, when W is maximum, then Q2 is minimum and Q2 mean will be equal to Q1 minus W. So, from this you can find out the value of Q2. And the answer is 0.392 kilowatt. For this problem, the answer is 0.392 kilowatt. So, 0.392 kilowatt is the least rate of heat rejection for this engine, which is working between a source of 800 degree centigrade and a sink of 30 degree centigrade. And here, although the heat transfer terms Q1 and Q2 are not given to us, still we could find its efficiency using the terms T1 and T2, of course converted to Kelvin scale, because we confirmed that this is a Carnot cycle problem. And how did we do that? We identified it as a Carnot cycle problem because of one phrase, that is least rate of heat rejection. Because Carnot cycle is having maximum efficiency among all the engines. Maximum efficiency indicates maximum work. Maximum work output indicates minimum heat loss, and minimum heat loss means minimum heat rejection rate or least rate of heat rejection. So that phrase is there in the problem. So from that phrase we could catch and we could identify that it is a Carnot cycle problem. Okay. So this is how we have to proceed. Next is, see, again have a look at the Carnot cycle efficiency expression, that is 1 minus T2 by T1. Carnot cycle efficiency is 1 minus T2 by T1. Okay. So for a fixed source temperature and sink temperature, the maximum possible, theoretically maximum possible efficiency value is fixed. You cannot tamper with that because T1 and T2 are fixed. So 1 minus T2 by T1 is also fixed. Only thing is that you have to ensure, and I am telling it repeatedly, that the temperature terms, if it is given to you in degree centigrade, they must be converted to Kelvin values. Then only you can use them in toto in 1 minus T2 by T1 expression. Okay. Now look at this expression. If you want to improve the Carnot cycle efficiency and you have the freedom of, say, changing the source and sink temperatures. Okay. So what will you do? How can you improve efficiency of a Carnot engine by changing T1 and T2? So what you will do with T2? So 1 minus T2 by T1. So this term must be reduced so that Carnot cycle efficiency is improved. And this term can be reduced either by increasing T1 or by decreasing T2. Okay. So there are two ways. So Carnot cycle efficiency can be increased by increasing T1 while keeping T2 constant. Another way of increasing Carnot cycle efficiency is that either you increase T1 and keep T2 constant, or you decrease T2, or by decreasing T2 while keeping T1 constant. Okay. Increase the source temperature keeping T2 constant, or decreasing the sink temperature keeping source temperature constant. So these are the two ways of increasing Carnot cycle efficiency. The question now is that which of the two ways is a more effective way of improving Carnot cycle efficiency? मतलब if you increase T1 Carnot cycle का efficiency का improvement ज़्यादा होगा, या if you decrease T2 while keeping T1 constant Carnot cycle efficiency ज़्यादा होगा. So you have to strike a comparison between these two. Alright. So how can you do that? So there are different methods, but I am doing the simplest method. So what you can do? First one is what is the first? So this is equation 1, which shows that if you are not changing, it is the original Carnot cycle with source temperature and sink temperature T1 and T2, and this is the efficiency value. Now, if you are changing, then the new value eta 1 will be equal to, so you are adopting the first way, that is increasing T1 and keeping T2 constant. So keep T2 constant and increase T1 by an amount delta T. Okay, say 2 degree or 3 degree or 5 degree, by some amount you increase this. So what will be the efficiency value? So efficiency value will be T1 plus delta T, and here you have T1 minus T2 plus delta T. Okay, let this be equation 2. So with increasing T1 by an amount delta T and keeping T2 constant, we get a new efficiency value now, and the new efficiency value is eta 1. Then let us explore the second method. Second method, you get a efficiency value eta 2, where you are doing the second thing. That means you are decreasing the sink temperature while keeping the source temperature constant. So you make T2 minus delta T and keep the source temperature T1 constant. So the new efficiency value will be this much. Now you do, how much it will be? It will be T1 minus T2 plus delta T by T1. This is equation 3. So by using the first method you get this efficiency value, by using the second method you get this efficiency value. Now you see, compare these two terms, which one is bigger? You can see the numerator is same, T1 minus T2 plus delta T, T1 minus T2 plus delta T. Come to the denominator, this one is bigger and this one is smaller, because delta T is finite and it is positive. So out of 2 and 3 expression, which one is bigger? Obviously this one is bigger, this one is bigger. So decreasing T2, so decreasing sink temperature is a more effective way of improving eta. So decreasing sink temperature while keeping the source temperature constant is a more effective way of improving the Carnot cycle efficiency compared to increasing T1 while keeping T2 constant. So sometimes this question also is asked to you in interviews and in various competitive examinations, where you can establish it by doing this small mathematical exercise. Just like you are solving engine problems which give you a hint that the engine is a Carnot engine, similarly in refrigerator and heat pump problems as well, there will be some hint regarding whether it is a Carnot refrigerator or Carnot HP or not. In that case, if you identify somehow and if you convince yourself that it is a Carnot refrigerator or a Carnot heat pump, then using the temperature terms, means the atmospheric temperature and the body temperature expressed in Kelvin, you can find out the ideal COP. That means the theoretically maximum possible value of COP for that device you can find out by taking T2 by T1 minus T2 or T1 by T1 minus T2 as the case may be, whether it is a refrigerator or a heat pump. And then you can start interpreting with the other given information. Sometimes you get problem where the language will be like this, that there is an engine operating in a cycle and consuming this much of heat and releasing this much of work. Okay, it's a real engine problem, but इसका efficiency के बारे में वो लिखा होगा कि efficiency of this cycle is 1/3 of its maximum value, maximum possible value. So in that case, what you can do, using the temperature terms, if given, you can find out the Carnot efficiency value, take 1/3 of that, and that is the real efficiency of the engine or efficiency of the real engine. So that efficiency will be considered while making a progress in for finding out the rest of the quantities like heat rejection or heat input or work output or some other things. Okay, so this is how you have to solve the problems related to Carnot and non-Carnot engines. Okay, this was for today. Next class we will do a Carnot refrigerator problem or a Carnot heat pump problem, and we'll move on to a concept called entropy. Thank you.